My stepmother joined me in the bathtub, a true tale of betrayal. Hello, everyone. I'm Sophia, and I'm 42 years young. I reside in a tranquil suburban area alongside my husband, James, and my stepson, Liam. Life here is generally tranquil, yet I frequently experience a deep sense of isolation within my marriage. James, my husband, works as a corporate attorney, and his profession requires a significant amount of his time and concentration. He is perpetually occupied with a series of consecutive meetings, long evenings at the workplace, and unceasing deadlines that appear to offer no respite. While I grasp the demands and obligations tied to his profession, it often results in scant time for us as partners, and at times, I sense that I am merely an observer in my own existence. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, allowing me to keep sharing more captivating true stories like this one. Be sure to watch this video all the way through, as the story promises to be truly captivating. Once upon a time, James and I shared a profound connection, filled with laughter, dreams, and intimate moments. We crafted a life together, rich with love and companionship, yet somewhere along the journey, the spark dimmed. The nights became increasingly cold and still, enveloped in silence instead of the warm exchanges we once cherished. I frequently find myself lying awake, gazing at the ceiling, pondering what went awry. In spite of it all, I discovered a yearning within me for a warmth that seemed to have vanished from our relationship. Before diving into the narrative, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more enthralling stories that delve into the intricacies of human emotions and connections. A few days later, as my husband James headed out for yet another late-night meeting, I found myself once more alone at home. The house was enveloped in an unsettling silence, the stillness thick in the air, while my mind spiraled with reflections on the thrilling encounter I had with my stepson, Liam, just a short while ago. A moment arose that stirred emotions I had long kept hidden within myself. I had longed for the excitement of being wanted, for that sensation of truly living that had been missing from my existence. In a fervent effort to alleviate the mounting tension within me, I resolved to indulge in a long, soothing bath. I filled the tub with warm water and lit a few scented candles, letting the soft glow and fragrant steam wrap around me, crafting an ambience of serenity. The gentle warmth of the water enveloped my skin as I settled into the tub, my body surrendering to the comforting embrace of the soothing liquid. Yet, my thoughts wandered back to Liam, the way his hands had roamed my body, the fervor in his kisses, the way he made me feel so vibrant, so wanted. It was intoxicating, and the memory ignited a surge of heat within me. I shut my eyes, envisioning his touch and the desire that had ignited between us. The warmth of the water blending with the warmth in my core as I remembered the way he had gazed at me, his eyes brimming with longing and something more profound. A portion of my being was filled with fear, yet another part yearned for that exhilaration, that bond. I felt an irresistible pull towards. He drew me in, much like a moth is drawn to a flame, and I found it impossible to dismiss the emotions that were starting to stir within me. Out of nowhere, a gentle knock echoed at the bathroom door, sending my heart into a frenzy as I swiftly propped myself up, liquid undulating around me. Who could it be? I made the call, attempting to keep my tone casual. Yet I could sense the quiver in my voice. "It's me, Liam," he replied, his voice warm and welcoming. A surge of excitement coursed through me at the sound of his, the sound of my heartbeat intensifying. "What is it that you desire?" I inquired, maintaining a cheerful tone even as the excitement surged inside me. "I wanted to see how you are doing. You've been in here a while," he remarked, and I could sense the worry in his voice, blended with an element that sent my pulse racing even more. I paused to gather my thoughts, attempting to set my emotions aside. Yet the thrill of anticipation was palpable. "I'm okay, just enjoying a bath," I responded, my cheeks warming at the idea of him being there. Beyond the threshold, a brief pause hung in the air before he began to speak once more. "May I enter? I simply wish to be in your presence." My heart raced as I noticed him standing outside the door. And I felt a compelling desire to invite him in. Just as I was about to reply, he swung the door open, entering with a self-assured gait. My breath caught in my throat as I absorbed his appearance. His tousled hair, the fitted t-shirt hugging his chest, and those piercing blue eyes that seemed to see right through me, leaving me feeling exposed in a way I had never anticipated. "I figured you could use some company," he remarked, his eyes wandering to the candles dancing in the dim light of the room. I was surprised by his audacity, sensing the atmosphere grow heavy with anticipation. I hesitated, my heart pounding as I attempted to maintain my composure, even though every fiber of my being yearned to pull him nearer. "Come on. We're alone just for a little while," he urged, stepping closer. I could sense the warmth emanating from him, and the atmosphere grew charged, sparking something profound within me. The yearning that had accumulated inside me over time. The past few days ignited with intensity, and I found myself overwhelmed by an irresistible longing to be close to him. The intensity of his desire was palpable, sending a rush through my veins and quickening my heartbeat. "All right," I finally murmured, catching myself off guard with my own audacity. But only for a brief moment. As he stepped. As I moved nearer, I noticed how his eyes wandered down to the water. "I can't help but ponder what it would be like to step into that space with you," he murmured, his tone soft and playful, sending a thrill through me. I gulped, my heart racing as I envisioned. "Exactly that." "What if James comes home?" I inquired, attempting to maintain a sensible tone, while inwardly hoping he would overlook my worry. "Then we'll just have to be quiet," he proposed, his smirk broadening as he leaned in closer, the warmth of his body enveloping my skin. Before I could reply, he extended his hand, his fingers brushing against my arm, sparking a flame inside me. "Please just let me in," he said, his voice tinged with urgency, with a yearning that resonated within my soul. I paused, torn between the excitement of longing and the burden of my morals. Yet the exhilaration of his caress was simply irresistible. "All right," I whispered, my voice trembling, but only for a brief moment. In silence, Liam rose, discarding his t-shirt and stepping into the tub next to me. The gentle water enveloped us, pulling our bodies nearer, while the cozy atmosphere intensified the charged energy surrounding us. I felt the world outside fade away as we locked eyes. The water splashed around us, his body mere inches from mine. "This feels nice," he murmured softly, his fingers gliding over my thigh, rekindling a flame within me that I had long believed was snuffed out. "It does," I replied, my breath catching as he drew nearer, our bodies now just inches apart. In that instant, the tension shattered as he leaned closer, sealing my lips with his. The kiss began tenderly, a delicate dance of unvoiced longing, but soon intensified as fervor ignited between us. My hands instinctively moved to his shoulders, drawing him nearer as I surrendered to the moment, feeling the warmth of the water surround us. The urgency of our kisses transformed into a passionate dance of longing and desire, offering a sweet release from the solitude that had weighed on me for far too long. I sensed his fingers glided over my back, then my chest, as he pressed down gently, kissing my skin, and awakening sensations I had long since forgotten. The exhilarating rush of being in such proximity to him was nearly overpowering, and I yielded to it entirely. Leah, the warmth between our lips, the intensity rising, poised to engulf us entirely. "Of course," he murmured, his lips gliding down my neck, sending delightful shivers coursing through my body. "Simply relish this." I shut my eyes, surrendering to the sensations he was conjuring. Each kiss, each touch ignited a flame, stirring something profound within me. My fingers wove through his hair as he drew me nearer, our bodies aligning perfectly as if we were crafted for this moment. As our lips met, the chaos of the world slipped away, leaving just the two of us entwined in the soothing embrace of the warm water. My heart raced as his hands explored my body, trailing down my arms and back up to my face. holding me tenderly as our kisses deepened. Increased fervor, heightened urgency. "I've yearned for this moment for ages," he whispered, his lips grazing mine before deepening the kiss once more. I felt the same way, I confessed, a mix of vulnerability and exhilaration coursing through me, ignited by the intensity of the instant. I clung to him. A thrill coursing through me as his hands roamed, discovering my body in ways that ignited a sense of vitality within me. The limits I had established for myself started to fade, and I allowed myself to give in to the intensity of the moment. I held him close, and he took my body shower in his hand, gently applying it to my aging skin. As his hands gradually moved down towards my hips, the water sloshing around us, amplifying the sensations. In an instant, a deafening sound shattered the tranquility, and we both stopped it, a wave of panic washing over me. Liam swiftly withdrew, his eyes wide as we both hurried to regain our composure. "What shall we do?" he inquired, his voice taut with urgency. "Hide," I hissed, gesturing toward the shower curtain. We swiftly moved, both of us crouching behind the shower curtain, our hearts pounding as we held our breath, hoping James wouldn't enter the bathroom. I could hear him moving through the house, calling out, "Sophia, are you here?" The atmosphere was thick with anticipation as we gathered closely, sensing the warmth emanating from one another. My heart raced, fueled not just by fear, but by the exhilarating rush of what had just unfolded. Occurred. I sensed Liam's warm breath against my neck, and the adrenaline surged through my veins. James entered the bathroom, and I tightly shut my eyes, praying we wouldn't be discovered. He started to wash his hands at the sink, blissfully oblivious to the turmoil unfolding behind the curtain. The sound of the running water served as a stark reminder of our delicate predicament. After what seemed like an eternity, James completed his task and exited the bathroom, the door clicking softly shut behind him. Liam and I exchanged a look of relief, our hearts racing from the narrow escape. "Wow, that was close," Liam whispered, his voice brimming with exhilaration. "I can hardly wrap my head around what just happened," I responded, a surge of excitement intertwined with longing coursing through me. My body was still vibrating from the encounter, and I felt a rush of excitement from the thrill of it all. "Do you want to continue?" he asked, his gaze intense and brimming with desire. I paused, acutely aware of the dangers at play, yet irresistibly drawn to him. "Indeed," I murmured, my voice scarcely rising above a whisper. We emerged from behind the curtain, our gazes intertwined, the atmosphere charged with palpable tension. I stepped closer, my heart pounding as I extended my hand, drawing him into yet another kiss. As our lips met once more, a surge of exhilaration coursed through me. This time, it felt distinct, it was no longer merely a secret. It was a bond, an intensity that couldn't be ignored, and I was prepared to welcome it, regardless of the repercussions. The intensity of his movements enveloped me as he kissed me deeply, and I let go, embracing the moment and allowing myself to experience all the emotions I had kept at bay for so long. A couple of days later, the late afternoon sun poured through the kitchen window while I busied myself with dinner preparations. The aroma of sautéed vegetables wafted through the air, sharply contrasting with the residual thrill from our previous meeting. I found myself lost in thought, reminiscing about each caress and kiss, the way Liam had ignited a spark within me. As I stirred the pot on the stove, the front door creaked open, and I recognized the sound of Liam's footsteps approaching. My heart raced as he entered the kitchen, a mischievous grin lighting up his features. "Hey, what smells so good?" he asked, leaning against the counter. "Just making some dinner," I replied, attempting to maintain my composure. "How was your day?" "Long and boring," he replied, a playful sparkle in his eyes. "But it's better now that I'm here." "Really?" I inquired, my curiosity ignited. "What do you mean?" He moved in closer, his presence adding a comforting warmth to the already inviting kitchen. "I mean, being here with you always brightens my day," he said. His voice was soft and welcoming. The way he gazed at me stirred a flurry of butterflies in my stomach, igniting a spark that brought back memories of our secret moments shared together. I turned back to the stove, attempting to seem occupied, yet my heart raced uncontrollably. "You're just saying that," I replied, trying to evade the weight of his stare. "No, I'm serious," he pressed, stepping even closer until he was right behind me. "I can't stop thinking about you, about us." His words sent a thrill through me, and I couldn't help but steal a glance over my shoulder at him. "Liam, we can't keep doing this. It's complicated." He leaned in, resting his chin on my shoulder, the warmth of his body pressing against my back. "Why not? We both desire this, don't we?" I shut my eyes for a fleeting moment, relishing the feeling of his warmth, the captivating scent of his cologne, and the undeniable connection between us that crackled in the air between us. "I do want it," I confessed, my voice barely above a whisper. "But it's perilous. Sometimes the best things in life come with a little danger," he murmured, his lips brushing against my ear, sending shivers down my spine. "Let's just enjoy it while we can." I took a deep breath, my heart pounding as I considered his words. He was indeed correct. I had been yearning for this bond. The flicker of desire that reignited my sense of vitality. My heart raced with longing, and I found myself surrendering to his charm. "All right," I murmured, pivoting to meet his gaze completely. The atmosphere grew heavy with expectation as I searched his gaze, brimming with a blend of hope and desire, just for this evening. A victorious smile blossomed on his lips. And before I could hesitate, he grasped my hand, guiding me out of the kitchen and down the corridor to my bedroom. The excitement of being discovered flickered at the edge of my thoughts. Yet the enchantment of the moment. My hesitation was swiftly overcome. Once inside my room, he gently closed and locked the door behind us. The atmosphere changed immediately. The energy thick as he turned to face me, his expression a mix of seriousness and desire. "I've thought about this moment for days," he said, stepping closer, his fingers lightly grazing my arm. I slipped my hands into his pants, seeking to ignite his passion so he could satisfy my cravings without hesitation. The space that separated us dissolved as he encircled my waist, drawing me nearer until our forms were intertwined. Without a moment's hesitation, his lips met mine and I blended with him, experiencing a surge of longing that flowed through my veins. My hands explored beneath his shirt as our kisses grew more intense. The universe beyond faded away, leaving just the two of us entwined in our fervor. Each kiss sparked a flame inside me, a longing that had been quietly brewing just out of sight. As our kisses deepened, he started to roam my body with his hands, his touch awakening every nerve ending. I gasped against his mouth as he caressed my back, pulling me closer, nearer until I could sense his heartbeat against my chest. "You are stunning," he murmured between kisses, his hands exploring the edge of my shirt. "I can't get enough of you, Liam," I breathed, the thrill of his touch sending waves of heat coursing through me. "We really shouldn't. Just let it happen," he urged, his voice husky with desire. "Let's put everything aside, just for tonight." In a single, fluid movement, he raised my shirt over my head, his gaze exploring my form with unreserved appreciation. A wave of vulnerability washed over me, intertwining with excitement as I stood before him, laid bare and radiant in his gaze. With a gentle sigh, I felt his lips brush against my skin, leaving a trail of kisses along my collarbone. Every caress sparked a flame inside me. My fingers explored his back, sensing the strength beneath his shirt, yearning to connect with every inch of him. With that, he seized my lips once more, his hands gliding to my back to release my bra. The sensation of the strap slipping away ignited another wave of warmth within me as he moved the fabric aside, his fingers grazing my skin. He pulled away from the kiss to gaze at me, his face alight with wonder. "You're amazing," he whispered, his gaze brimming with longing. "I desire you," I admitted, feeling audacious and daring in that instant. "Then let's make this unforgettable," he said, his voice heavy with desire as he kissed me again, this time with fervor, exploring every inch of my mouth while our bodies intertwined. The world outside, it had faded away completely. I found myself enveloped in him, our kisses intensifying as he pressed me against the wall. His hands exploring my body, as if he were uncovering every inch of me for the first time. Time faded away as we surrendered to our desires. The exhilaration of being together pushing us both to the brink. I felt alive, desired, and completely engulfed by the bond we shared. Eventually, he pulled back, breathless, and took my hand, guiding me to the bed. "Are you ready?" he inquired, his gaze deep with desire. "Yes," I murmured, my heart pounding with excitement. We collapsed onto the bed together, our bodies entwined. And the thrill of what we were doing surged through me. It was a dance of passion and desire, a moment that felt both forbidden and exhilarating as we lost ourselves in each other. I knew that this was only the beginning of our passionate adventure, a thrilling secret that would change everything between us, and I was ready to embrace it fully, no matter where it led us. Days transformed into weeks, and our meetings grew increasingly regular. Every moment we captured. Being together felt like a refreshing breeze, a fleeting getaway from the mundane. We discovered comfort in the secret of glances, the gentle caresses, and the fervent kisses that left us gasping for air. One evening after a particularly thrilling rendezvous, we lay entwined in bed, the soft glow of the moonlight filtering through the curtains. I traced my fingers along Liam's chest, feeling the warmth radiated from him. "What are we doing?" I inquired, shattering the serene quietude. The inquiry lingered, thick with significance. "Living," he replied, his voice steady. For the first time in a long while, I found myself smiling at his answer. Yet uncertainty gnawed at the edges of my thoughts. Joy. But what occurs when someone discovers the truth? I inquired, my tone laced with concern. "Then we deal with it," he said, lifting my chin to meet his gaze. "I'm not afraid of what this is. I desire you." His words ignited a fire within me, yet I couldn't dispel the sense of looming peril. "I want you too," I admitted, feeling the weight of my emotions for him. "But this isn't merely enjoyable for me, it carries significance." He nodded, his demeanor earnest. "It holds significance for me as well. Yet we mustn't allow fear to restrain us. We are entitled to our happiness." The warmth in his voice eased my anxieties, and I leaned closer, sealing our connection with a passionate kiss. The depth of our bond surged, and I became completely absorbed in the experience, leaving all my uncertainties behind. As we kissed, I felt a sense of liberation. We were crafting our own narrative, one filled with passion, desire, and the thrill of the forbidden. In the weeks that followed, we discovered ways to maintain our link thriving in the midst of the turmoil of our routine existence. Every stolen moment seemed to hold greater value than the one before. And I discovered a growing anticipation for our meetings filled with a blend of exhilaration and unease. I treasured the excitement of our hidden moments. In those meetings, the way Liam gazed at me, his eyes brimming with longing and reverence, was captivating. Every kiss, every touch rekindled a flame within me that had long been extinguished. Yet, despite my efforts to concentrate on the happiness we experienced together, the truth of our circumstances hovered in the recesses of my thoughts. I couldn't rid myself of the sensation that we were existing on borrowed time, teetering on the brink of an abyss. There were instances when I would find myself pondering the implications if James were to discover the truth. Would he be angry? Would he understand? Or would he see me as a betrayer? Someone who had crossed an unthinkable line. One evening, as I prepared dinner, my mind raced with thoughts of Liam. I chopped vegetables with a mechanical rhythm, but my thoughts were miles away. Just then, James walked into the kitchen, his presence pulling me back to reality. "Hey, darling," he said, brushing a soft kiss against my cheek. "What's for dinner?" "Just some pasta and salad," I replied, managing a smile. As he made himself at home in the kitchen, our easy conversation picked up again, yet I sensed an increasing gap between us. My heart weighed down with unspoken truths. As if I were donning a facade, feigning normalcy while turmoil churned just below the surface. After dinner, I made my exit citing fatigue, and withdrew to my sanctuary. Perched on the edge of the bed, my mind raced with a torrent of thoughts. I found myself lost in the memories of the moments Liam and I had shared, his touch, his kiss. The way he made me feel so vibrantly alive. The ache of missing him settled in my chest. Just then, my phone buzzed with a message. It was from Liam. "Can we meet tonight?" It read. My heart raced at the thought. The excitement of encountering him once more, of experiencing that undeniable spark, was simply irresistible. I responded without hesitation. "Yes, I'll be waiting." As the night progressed, a sense of anticipation swelled within me. I could hear James moving about the house, engrossed in the television in the living room. Blissfully unaware of the schemes taking shape behind closed doors. When the clock chimed 10, my heart raced at the sound of a gentle knock on my bedroom door. "Sophia." Liam's voice barely rose above a whisper. I opened the door to find him standing there, every bit as handsome as I remembered. The instant our gazes locked, the atmosphere shimmered with unspoken intensity. Wordlessly, I drew him in and secured the door, isolating us from everything outside. "What if James catches a glimpse of you?" I murmured. My tone tinged with a sense of urgency. "He won't," he assured me, stepping closer. The warmth of his body radiated towards me, and I could feel the magnetic pull between us. "I just needed to see you." Before I could utter a word, he bridged the gap between us, sealing my lips with a fervent kiss. The outside world blurred into oblivion as I surrendered to him. Experiencing the intoxicating wave of longing envelop me. Our kisses intensified, and I sensed the burdens of everything else dissipate into nothingness. As we stumbled toward the bed, my thoughts were a jumbled mess. The thrill of secrecy and the intoxicating warmth of his body enveloped me completely. We collapsed onto the bed, caught in a whirlwind of kisses and touches. I felt vibrantly alive, exhilarated, and entirely consumed by the connection we shared. But just as swiftly as the passion ignited, a flicker of doubt crept into my mind. What if this was all a mistake? What if I was risking everything I had built with James? Yet, in that moment, none of it mattered. I longed to be here, with Liam. Immersed in this captivating reality, where I felt cherished and vibrant. Time slipped away as we lay intertwined, the burdens of the outside world fading into oblivion. I was aware that I ought to consider the repercussions of my life with James, yet in Liam's embrace, all felt flawless. The closeness we had was unlike anything I had felt in years. Yet, as time went on, the truth of the situation started to creep in, and I felt a twinge of guilt. "Liam," I said softly, interrupting the serene silence. "What are we doing?" He gazed at me, his expression earnest. "We're living, Sophia. We're embracing something beautiful." "Yes, but it's complicated." "What happens if James finds out?" I asked, my voice quivering just a bit. "We handle it together," he answered resolutely, as if that would magically resolve everything. I'm not intimidated by what lies ahead. I yearned to trust him. I hoped we could weather this tempest side by side. Yet, uncertainty remained within me. I can't simply turn my back on my life with James. He deserves more, I murmured, as tears threatened to spill from my eyes. "Do you love him?" Liam asked softly. The question lingered, thick with meaning. "I care about him," I confessed, "but it's not the same. I haven't felt this way in a long time." "Then perhaps it's time to confront what you genuinely desire," he said gently. "You deserve happiness. In that moment, clarity washed over me. He was undeniably correct. My attention had been consumed by the potential fallout, causing me to overlook my own joy. Gazing into Liam's eyes, I perceived not just longing, but also a mirror of the fulfillment I had been yearning for in my existence. I desire this, I declared at last, feeling a wave of bravery. I desire you. His eyes glimmered with a blend of happiness and relief. Then let's not waste any more time, he said, drawing me nearer as our lips met once more. With each kiss, we vowed to cherish this beautiful, intricate bond. I understood that the journey ahead would be fraught with difficulties and obstacles to overcome. In that instant, with Liam beside me, I felt prepared to embrace everything life had to offer. No matter what lay ahead, I was resolute in my desire to savor each experience and pursue my passions.